can't lead a child who doesn't feel safe with you. It's as simple as that. Let me say something that might rattle a few cages, but is important. If your child doesn't feel connected to you, then they won't listen to you. Not fully, not deeply, and not when it matters most to them and to you. And really, that's why the first pillar of the core system is connection before correction. Because the truth is this, most parents are leading with the wrong energy. They lead with rules, they lead with lectures, and with consequence-first parenting, not realizing that they're trying to shape behavior without first earning influence. And here's the really painful truth. Without connection, correction just feels like rejection. Let that sink. Without connection, correction feels to your child like rejection. Your intentions as a parent might be good, but if the emotional bond isn't there yet, your discipline won't actually land. It will just feel like you're trying to control them. And when kids feel controlled, what do? They pull away, they hide, they rebel, they shut down. I've seen this 1,000 times with parents who tell me that their child is defiant or won't listen or won't open up, that they're always glued to a screen, that they're always giving attitude. And so I asked them a few questions. When was the last time you spent one-on-one time with them? No phones, no distractions. When was the last time you laughed together? And I mean really laughed. When was the last time you listened without correcting? And most of the time, parents can't actually remember because the relationship's been stuck in correction mode for months, maybe years. And that's where the damage is actually starting, in that correction mode. So, connection before correction is not about being soft. It's not about letting kids run wild. It's not extreme, gentle parenting. It's about restoring trust so that when you do set boundaries with your child, they actually land. So that when you do call them higher, they hear you. Here's what it looks like in my house. Every weekday, I walk with my son for 20 minutes. Rain or shine, whatever, hand in hand, no phone, no agenda. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't talk. Sometimes he doesn't want to go on the walk. Sometimes he's angry that he's walking. But I just walk with him anyway. And within a few minutes, he starts to open up. He starts telling me random things that he's looking forward to. Sometimes he talks to me about a Minecraft book that he's reading, or a book about sharks that he's fascinated by, or he tells me interesting facts about nature or science. And I do this with him every single day. That walk has become our connection ritual. It's how he knows physically I'm there, that I see him and I value his world. It's not this one-off big moment. Instead, it's this consistent moment. And when I do need to challenge him, when I do need to correct something, he actually listens. And it's not because I'm shouting louder, but because the relationship is stronger. My opportunity to correct him on something, to guide him, to mentor him, sometimes comes at the end of that 20-minute walk. And I've got a son with ADHD. So with him, it's very challenging for him to regulate his emotions, to regulate his nervous system. And he learns that by copying me. So those first 20 minutes in the day are a chance for him to bond with me, to regulate his nervous system based on my nervous system, and to set himself up peacefully for the day. And what we've noticed is a massive change, a shift in his schooling because of that. Now, this is no different with my daughter. If she feels emotional, if she feels something really deeply, when she's particularly upset, I don't try to fix something straight away with her. I don't jump in with advice or correct it or try and bring logic. I just sit with her. And sometimes I'll just sit with her in complete silence because that stillness is that safe presence that I think a parent really needs with their child. And I think it says more than words ever could. For me, as a father, masculine leadership isn't always loud and abrupt and correcting. It's not about dominating the moment or having control. It's more about anchoring it. Sometimes your child is a storm, and they don't need you to be the thunder adding to it. They need you to be the ground. And that's one of the key roles, I think, a father's got in a home. It's to set the nervous system for the family, to help regulate the nervous system. And I see so many dads being emotionally reactive and actually doing the opposite. And what that does, in my opinion, is it makes the whole family feel like they're on the edge of their seat. When you have an emotionally reactive father at home, everyone feels uneasy. But when you've got a father who has regulation, emotional regulation, who's calm, who's centered, who's grounded, the whole family feels safer, they feel more at peace, and they actually have more trust in the direction of the family. All of that is key when it comes to developing your family culture. So, what I'd like to do now is get quite practical. If you want to build real connection with your child, I want to give you 5 habits that work. They're very, very simple, but they're very powerful. First one is one-on-one time every single week. Nothing fancy, go for a walk, grab an ice cream, play a game, no phones, no teaching moments, just presence. Number 2, daily check-in. At bedtime or dinner, ask them, what's one good thing that happened today? What was really hard today? What are you really proud of today? Don't go in with the, what did you learn at school today, classic line that parents ask, because they're not interested in telling you that. Instead, try to meet them where they're at. Did anything funny happen today at school? Or even tell them and share with them something you did that was funny today, which they might find humor in. What we're trying to do here is to encourage them through simple questions to build emotional literacy. Next up, number 3 is touch. Physical affection isn't just for toddlers. A hug, a hand on the shoulder, these sorts of things actually ground your child. It reminds them you are here. Number 4 is eye contact. When they speak, look up or put the phone down. It seems small, but it builds trust faster than anything else. Make sure you are giving them eye contact. You are giving them your full presence. And that's so difficult to do, but if you want them off their phone in the future, you've got to give them presence without the phone in your hand. It's challenging, but it's important. Number 5 is laughter. Humor is really powerful. Laugh together, be silly, create joy. It makes discipline easier when it's eventually needed. Because joy has already had this process of bonding you both together. Now let me speak directly to the dads for a second. And I do this often as a dad. I can relate to you, and hopefully you can relate to me, and we've got a very similar journey, I'm sure. If you think your job as a dad is just to provide for your family, you're missing the point. Your presence is your greatest provision. Kids don't need a perfect dad. They need a present dad, one who's calm, one who shows up, and one who really leads with consistency, not just correction. I've worked with too many boys who crave that presence, and too many girls who search for that strength in the wrong places when they don't get it at home. Your connection as a father will set the tone for the entire family. So why does this matter? Because the moment your child feels safe with you again, everything shifts. You go from being a threat to being a leader. You go from being turned out to being turned into. Connection isn't this nice to have. It's the foundation of influence. No connection, no character development. And you know what's wild? One of the toughest kids I've ever worked with, the ones who would label themselves or were labeled by others as problems and then eventually labeled themselves as problems, actually turned into absolute leaders once we reconnected them with their families. Why is that? It's because underneath all of the behavior was a kid starving to be seen. You don't fix that with more punishment. You fix it with more presence. You want to improve your child's behavior? Have a good reflection on how much presence and time you're spending with them. None of this is about being a perfect parent. I want to make that super clear. Your kids don't need perfection. You are going to mess this up. I mess it up. All parents do. That is normal. And what you'll notice is the shift starts happening. My challenge to you this week, pick one of the rituals that I spoke about. when it comes to connection, and do it. Just one. It could be the daily walk, it could be screen-free dinner, whatever it is. It could be the 5 minutes at bedtime with your phone on airplane mode. Whatever it is, lock it in and protect it. And then watch what happens after 1 week. Now, before we wrap up this part, I want you to do 2 things for me. First of all, I want you to comment, "I'm rebuilding connection," below, if you're committing to 1 new connection habit this week. Then I want to know who's stepping up in the comments so I can help support you and I can reply to you. I reply to every single comment. Next, number 2, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. I want to support more parents on my mission to solidify a powerful family culture in this challenging modern world. And when you subscribe, more parents will hear about it and you'll get access to even more content for free, just like this. Right, next up, in the next part, we are going to be moving into the O of the core system, which is ownership of values. You don't want to miss this part at all, because it's where we show you how to actually transfer values into your kids without just talking about them. This next part is how we lead at home. 1 connection, 1 correction, 1 moment at a time. So let's keep going and I'll see you there.